Hey guys, we've got Matt's 350Z. It's back in here for a retune, and something that's, you know, pretty common out there, and most people are gonna know about this if you're in this platform. But at a certain point, you're gonna run out of the factory mass airflow measuring, and it's a 0 to 5 volt sensor. Typically in the factory MAF housing, you can measure right around 400 horsepower worth of airflow through this thing. And so that's definitely gonna get us a restriction. We won't be able to add more fuel. The ECU is just gonna max out, and it won't know to give us more fueling that we need. So UpRev's had their GT MAF out for quite a while. That is one easy way to do that. Another way, if you're trying to get away by not using an aftermarket MAF, is sometimes you can go to the 3-inch pipe. Usually gets you maybe another 20, 30 horsepower worth of measurement. So what we've got here today is we've installed the VF Tuning 2.5-inch to 3-inch MAF tube, and it's actually really nice. It's got a nice cone that it does and gradually increases to 3-inch. So we've done that, and we're also installed the UpRev GT MAF. So this is gonna give us way more ability to measure the airflow that Matt's Z is making. So it's got the smaller pulley upgrade on it, and you know, we basically had to limit almost the RPMs with this setup. So now we won't be restricted. We'll be able to actually get the proper calibration done for this thing. So we're gonna go ahead and flash it, and let's make some pulls. All right guys, we are all wrapped up after changing out the MAF and replacing the charge pipe where the UpRev MAF goes. So with the SCI and that 2.87 pulley on there, we're still only able to get about 5.5 PSI of boost. So Matt did change the headers up on this thing. Typically these supercharged engines like some sort of restriction on the exhaust side, and probably accounting for a couple PSI loss right there. So my recommendation, time to go to an SI blower and see what this bad boy will make. So, you know, Matt wants to stay on 91, totally do that. Probably easily make 400 wheel by limiting the boost on the SI blower on 91 octane level. If he ever considers doing 85, easily make well into the mid 4s on an SI blower safely, just by doing larger injectors, return fuel system, and the appropriate fuel pump for this setup. So not too bad. Next time we get this bad boy back, it'll have an SI blower, and we'll see how it does. All right guys, we are wrapping up with Randy's still in Supercharger install, base kit, carb legal setup that's still in offers. So it's the SCI Supercharger. It's got, you know, of course, that funky power robbing intake that's right at the front of this thing. So, you know, believe it or not, you know, the SCI doesn't move the most amount of air in comparison to this SI bigger brother, but, you know, our biggest restriction is the intake. So huge gains just by modifying this. But for this car, this is as much as we're gonna do. You know, owner's gonna be completely satisfied making, you know, close to another 100 horsepower. So he's now looking to get every little thing out of this. Of course, it would have gone to a Soho air-to-air setup, or even a Top Guns setup if we were looking for max power, and of course doing the whole fuel system, running 85. But that's not the case with this car. Just basic, just gonna enjoy it, not have to have any headaches, you know, with inspection and all that. So we'll get this on the dyno, get a few little things more cleaned up on it as far as a little detail work left, and we'll see what it makes. So we've been diagnosing why this thing's making low power. There's only so many things you can do. We know that the inlet on these things, the way it comes, is super restricted. So we removed it, made a pull, thing made 12 pounds of boost. This is with the 9 PSI pulley. We had tried the pulley on its own, gained maybe 1.5 pounds at mid-range. Top end didn't really do anything with this still installed. So we figured, hey, let's pull this silicone inlet off because we know how restrictive it is. And yeah, if you take a look, this is what it's got to breathe through, and there isn't a whole lot of air. So what I want to do is a test to make sure that there isn't a defect in this. I've talked to Kyle over at Stillen just to let him know what we're doing, but I'm gonna modify it and cut down probably the clamps width from this coupler, which I already did, you can see it here. And we're gonna try that because maybe it's collapsing on itself when it's probably engine torquing, and it pushes up even more so against the front of the subframe, the crossmember area here of the core support. So we're gonna try that because there isn't a whole lot of real estate here. So that's why a lot of guys will run that Harley-Davidson filter or that turbo guard, but you know, we're trying to keep this as stockish to and closest to the Stillen kit as possible. So we'll go ahead and put this in now that we've got it cut, and we'll try it. We're obviously not gonna make quite as much boost, but again, we're hoping for 8-9 pounds of boost. So let's see what it does. Okay, so take a look. This is just removing this coupler, and huge difference in power. I mean, we're talking almost 100 wheel horsepower difference. And take a look at our boost curve. So blue is with the silicone inlet on it, and look at 7,000 RPM. It's 5 pounds of boost, and with it off, it's another 6 pounds, an additional 6 pounds made. So again, nothing 100% new. We were just fighting that extra 2 or 3 pounds of boost that it's missing. So we'll go ahead and throw this modified unit in, and we will verify and see to make sure it's not getting sucked closed, which is going to even further restrict things.